count of 3, tell me your aha that you got from this morning. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Well, I missed that session, so I want you to hear what you got out of it. My name is Chad Himes. How many of you know me? How many of you actually knew what I looked like before today, and most of you just know my voice from a webinar or something? Okay, so I've had that more than anything. People just walk by me at the booths where I am, or at the Maps booth where I've been, and they just say, oh, I know that voice. I've heard you before. They don't actually know who I am or what I do, they just know that I talk a lot. So that's why they've got me here talking to you guys today. I'm going to ask you one thing before we get going, is that at the end of the session you actually review it. Okay, we have evaluation forms for every session. I don't know if they've been telling you that. You can do them with the little pink slips that are in the back of the room somewhere, or there's some online way you can do it this year. They didn't teach me how to do it. They don't want me to stop you from doing it. They want you to be able to go and tell wonderful things. I'm going to ask one of two things. If you think this session was outstanding, I want you to make sure you remember how to spell my name. It's Chad Himes. Say he moderated the most amazing panel. If the session is not up to what you were hoping to get out of it today, I want you to know our 3 panelists over here so you can mention why it was not up to the standards you were looking at today. All right, let me introduce who we are and everything here. My name, as I said, is Chad Himes. I am one of the MAPS technology coaches. If you didn't know we had technology coaching, we do. I have 2 other technology coaches over in the corner. Chris and Liz are over there somewhere. There we go, I see a hand. Okay, so he's tweeting right now, busy tweeting. All right, that's what we do as tech coaches, we tweet. They're over there, and we are at the Maps booth when you can't find us. If you have a question, if you want more technology training and more information about the stuff we're going to share with you today, that's where you want to go, because you want to be able to find out about the programs we have offered. But enough about me. May you not hear much about me the rest of the session. Let's start here. This gentleman, I asked to be on this panel because I thought he was bringing Chick-fil-A for everybody. You know, they said to me, Chad, we need a fourth person up there. Can you get us somebody? And I said, yeah, Albie will bring Chick-fil-A for everybody. No. I got Albie here because as I've been doing Craigslist, he's one of the sources I go to get information from, because this guy has Craigslist just calling him and saying, what should we do next? Albie, tell them a little bit about yourself, where you are, how they can get a hold of you, and what the heck got you up on this stage.
Outside my long hair, I think that's the only reason why they invited me up here. But my name is Albi Vas. I'm out of Las Vegas, and I actually share the same sandbox as Laura Ballen next to me. So the really funny part is that there's a lot to go around. So if you played in our sandbox, 9 o'clock in the morning, there's already like 1,000 ads. So, and you can see in other areas, like in Florida, I think the southern part of Florida, there'll be 4 ads for the whole entire day. So you can be the dominant force in your area. So if you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but it's Albi Vas. If you want to text me right now, your information, it's 702-526-4498.
And if his phone is not on vibrate, think of what KW Cares just got.
And then also, I don't know if I can test it out yet, but I created a group, and then this group for this session is called KWFRCL. So you can search that on your Facebook and join, and then we'll share some of the code, because we're not going to present the code today, but we'll I'll shoot over some sample code. So.
All right, so that was KWFRCL. Keller Williams Family Reunion, Craigslist. We all got that. Okay, so find that on Facebook. Join that group. We're not going to tell anybody else, right? We all agreed? Don't tell anyone else?
Right.
Good. We'll just share it with the 1,500 of our closest friends that we've got here. Sitting beside Albie, we have another lady who definitely makes Craigslist dance. She does some wonderful things, and the thing that amazes me is that the 2 of them are in the same town. And they are, say again?
Same market.
Same market center, not even same town, same market center. And these guys both still can dominate at the same time. So we're going to get some differences of opinions up here from the 2 of them on how they actually use it, and I wanted to share all that with you guys. Lori, tell everybody who the heck you are and what got you up here other than your awesomeness.
I'm Lori Ballen from Las Vegas. I am a MIG agent, been with Keller Williams for 13 months, built from 2 of us, just my husband and myself, to 14 in a year. And I love everything internet. And I'm here because I just thought Chad was awfully nice, so I said yes.
All right, thank you, I appreciate that. All right, and as we move down the line, the last person I want to introduce to you so that you understand, we got one of the master faculty. One of the new age master faculty is referring to them, because this man knows how to make the internet do the things he needs to do, and he's here to bring you some amazing information. Matt, tell everybody who the heck you are and what brought you on the stage.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Matt Feddick, and I'm from the Philadelphia suburbs, right between Wilmington, Delaware, and Philadelphia, so kind of that little corner there in the world. And I am on the master faculty. I have a team. Last year we closed 159 transactions. After just 5 years, finished my 5th year in real estate.
All right, so here we go. And something about these people who are just new to real estate are really kind of taking it over, aren't they? How many of you, so we can have an idea, have been in real estate 2 years or less? Hands up. 2 years or less. 2 to 5 years. 5 to 10 years. Wow. Okay, 10 and above. Wow. 20 and above. 25 and above? Rick, give me an idea. 29 and a half. I got, okay, 30, above 30? 35? All right, I got 3 hands left. Tell me what I got. Oh wait, I got a few over here. Okay, so 40. Let me go for 40 years. I still got 2. I got 2 hands. How many years? Just over 40. How many years over there? 41 tomorrow. Wait, I'm seeing some pointing in the back. 48 years. All right, I don't think Craigslist was around 48 years ago. So I gotta say, that's one of the things that I love about Keller Williams is that we get a group of agents, and it doesn't matter whether you're in the business 1 year, 2 years, 13 months with Keller Williams, even though much more experience than that, 5 years or 48 years, we're all here learning from each other, aren't we? It's one of the things that makes this company amazing. I got one more question. How many of you have ever bought anything off Craigslist?
Yeah.
Besides a wife. Right, yeah, no, oh, half the hands went down. Did you notice that? Okay. And how many of you have sold something non-real estate related on Craigslist? I want the most ridiculous thing. Who thinks they have the most ridiculous thing they've bought or sold on Craigslist?
Christmas tree.
A Christmas tree. Was it fully decorated?
No, but I sold it for more than I bought it.
Sold it for more than she bought it for. You gotta love that. It was obviously not a real tree. Yes?
I sold my shower door that I removed.
She wins. Yeah. I don't even have a story better than that one. I think that's awesome. Sold the shower door she removed. All right, so now we understand that you can do some amazing things with Craigslist. Some of us have bought things from it. Some of us have sold things on it. Some of us are sitting in this room going, I don't even know what Craigslist is. Okay? Let me tell you what it is. It's the ugliest website there is. Right? Can we agree on that? It's the ugliest website that's out there. Yet the traffic on Craigslist ranks it as the number 7 in all English language websites. Number 7 in all English language websites. That's why it's somewhere you want to be. So now I'm going to go to these guys and I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to ask some wonderful leading questions that are going to set them up to bring you some amazing information. And then we're going to open up to you guys for questions. Just so you know, save your questions. I'm going to take these guys through some questions. There's a microphone in the middle of the room. So when we get to question time, you'll be able to come over here and we'll have you ask them and we'll go from there. So let's start and talk about how many ads a day you guys are posting. So I hear the rule on Craigslist, if I'm not mistaken, says I can post 1 ad in 1 category every 48 hours. I have this feeling that that's not true, Albert.
Well, if you live in Las Vegas, yes, that is correct. So only post 1 ad. So I post anywhere from 150 to about 250 ads a day. And that sounds like a lot, but they're pre-scripted ads. Ads that we take from different ranges of items we're doing with them. So one of the key things too is to make sure you don't do the things that I did. The things that, it was a big learning curve at the very beginning, is you have to create an account. Because I did it without creating an account because I didn't want to get ghosted. So yeah, sure, you can say, oh, what's that new terminology? You'll hear about it later, and then we'll post some stuff about ghosted as well. So create an account. Make sure you create an account, and if you want to do some black hat stuff that Chad is well aware of, you can create multiple accounts. So you can actually run 2 of the same exact ads without changing anything, but make sure you have 2 different browsers as well, or clear your cookies on that stuff. So,
how many of you did not understand what the heck he just said at the end? And all you heard in there was cookie. Okay, just making sure. If someone doesn't mind going downstairs, I think Lowe's has fresh baked cookies. So 150 to 250 ads a day you're posting, Albi. Okay, Lori, how about you?
I'm a high PI, we break a lot of rules.
Yes.
We post about 300 to 400 a day, and again, only because it's in Las Vegas, they're not all the same ads. I have about a library of 3,000 ads that we work with and create new ads every day.
Okay, and Matt, how are you doing for number of ads you're posting a day?
Nowhere near that many. 75 to 100 every day.
Okay, but that's probably a little more realistic to start for this gang that's here, getting up to 75. So let's look at you and what you're doing. Are you doing that yourself? Do you have one person on your team? Have you gone virtual? How are you getting those ads posted every day?
Yep. It's so important to time your ads and to really have a good feel. Unless you're going to do a huge volume. If you're going to do a smaller amount, it's really critical to time them. So we divide them up among the admin in the morning. And so we like to post between 7:45 and 8:30, so we have 3 folks that get on and post those right kind of as part of their daily work. It would certainly be the easiest thing to outsource to a virtual assistant. We did have somebody on our team that was doing it virtually, but currently we're banging it out twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon. We just make it part of our routine.
Okay, so you're making it part of that schedule. Now, Lori, that's way too many ads for any one person to be posting all day long. How do you get those posted through the day? Do you have a whole team dedicated to it?
Stand up, Richard. My husband, that's his job. We actually are posting them ourselves right now, but we figured out systems that allow us just to simply click while we're doing everything else.
Okay, and we'll talk about some of those. And Albi, how are you doing to get those 150 to 200 ads posted every day?
What we do is we hit this button called repost. And,
oh, you're giving away the good secrets.
So what we'll do is we'll have a cache set of ads that we'll run. Also, another cool thing you guys could do is it's not magic. You actually have to understand where these ads are they being clicked on. You can write the most beautiful ad in the world, and if you don't know the statistics behind it, you're pretty much wasting your time. So what we do is we watch what ads we send out there, and then we watch through the click-through rate is also which ads are coming through. So we just have a scripted set of ads that we write. And when I'm talking about scripted, we have a signature tag at the bottom that's a picture of myself with a picture of Vegas in the background with our phone number. Because at the end of the day, we'd rather have them call than click through. So. That's how we're doing it. And we'll create maybe 20, 30 ads during the weekend and then just run those all week. We'll just hit the reply button or repost button. And I filmed it the other day. We were able to do 12 Craigslist ads in 18 seconds. And we're just hitting the repost button, and that was from an iPhone.
Right, so how many of you, hold it up, have the iPhone? Okay, there is an app called Craigslist. It's a tough one. I know it'll be a hard one to remember when the session's over. You might want to write that one down. There'll be an app called Craigslist. Now, Albi, you were talking about you could post 12 in 18 seconds? Because you tell me you do this like when you get to the red lights. You'll just bam, 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 bam.
Not anymore because it's illegal to have our phone.
Of course. No. I'm not saying he does that.
Actually, we had this question before on a webinar. I actually don't use the app. I actually just go to the website on my phone, on the iPhone, and it comes up beautifully, especially on the iPad as well. And it comes up magically. All you do is just need to click the repost button, and it works.
Okay, so Lori, are you doing the same thing? Are you guys using your iPad or your iPhone and just all day long updating and refreshing them?
Everybody was laughing. We recently took a trip to Disneyland with our kids, and there's pictures of my husband and I in line for Small World hitting renew on the iPhone. But yeah, wherever we're at, we're hitting renew.
Is that what he's doing right now?
Probably, yeah, look, he's got it open.
He's not even listening. He's actually reposting and refreshing ads right
He
now.
learned enough. He's doing his job. Good job.
Good job. And Matt, same thing for you guys, or is it one of your admin people that goes in and takes care of it on the computer?
Yep, it's admin. It's
Okay.
just twice a day, regularly scheduled, with a real purposeful time period.
So that brings us to our next question, because everybody always asks me, and they say, Chad, I want to post on Craigslist, I want to take over on Craigslist. When should I post? So you're saying twice a day. What times a day do you recommend, or are you posting?
7:45 in the morning we start, and then somewhere right around 4:30 to 4:45 at the end of the day.
So you're telling realtors they have to be up and working at 7:45 in the morning?
Well, only if they want to win.
Okay, I'm just checking. You guys hear that? We're going to all get up a little bit earlier and actually be posting. Now, you can do Craigslist from your pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so actually you probably do pretty often, right? Okay, so there are other times of the day. Lori, what times of day are you guys posting, or are you just, never stopping?
We start at 3 a.m. Actually, my favorite time of the day, and I literally, because I do get up at 3 and start my lead generation at 3 a.m. and I will start posting. There are people everywhere in every time zone looking at Craigslist. So whenever you're going to post is the best time to post. Just make it happen. My favorite time is the Craigslist lunch hour, I call it, and I bang out as many as I can during lunch. We will both go to our computers right about lunch and just nail it. We like the 9 o'clock hour when people are just getting to work. We call it a mom rush about 3 o'clock. We get most of our listing ads at 3 o'clock off Craigslist. And then the late evening is also really good.
Okay, so 9, lunch hour, 3, and then kind of what we call the wine hour, which is when they're all a little more likely to give you their contact information because they're busy drinking. Okay, so
Vegas.
Vegas, that's all day.
That's tequila hour.
There's no stop on the wine hour. So now, Albi, you're saying there are thousands of ads going up in Vegas all the time, especially between just you and Lori alone. You guys are pretty busy on it, and we know that what happens is you post an ad, and then the next bunch of people post ads, and you're on the bottom of the screen already. So are there times that you're attacking Craigslist, or are you doing the same thing where you're posting all day long?
It's actually really funny is she gets up at 3 and that's when I go to bed, so because it was really odd. I was getting probably the most hits from 11 o'clock to 3 a.m. and I'm like, oh, she must be sleeping. So and then it's the opposite. No, it's really odd because in Las Vegas, you know, we have 24-hour shifts, so people get off at different times. One of the greatest secrets I could probably let out now is right before you go to bed, you could just repost a whole bunch. Craigslist is going to be working while you're sleeping, and you can't get an ROI on that. So it's just, I can't even explain, but that's what I do, you know. It's like, anytime after 10 o'clock is probably the greatest time we'll get a good amount of click-through on there and also registration,
So you're all day, but you're saying in the evening, and do you believe that's because you're in Las Vegas and you've got that casino shift coming off, or do you believe that that's anywhere people are looking online at that time?
there's a combination of both, but I realistically think that the only reason why I do know this, other agents stop posting at those times. And the reason why we know this, because we talked about this before, because on holidays, if you go to work on Craigslist, you will kill it.
Big time.
Everyone takes those days off. Christmas was phenomenal, and the New Year's, phenomenal. Well, actually, we didn't get that many from Las Vegas because they were still drunk apparently.
Yeah, they were hungry.
But Christmas, oh yes, it was actually Monday or Tuesday?
Whatever day after.
Yeah, the day after was one of our biggest days. You know, our website was crushed with the amount of traffic we sent there. So.
Okay, so you guys all showed up to come to a Craigslist class, and what you've now learned is you have to be working at 7:45 in the morning at holidays. I'm really glad to see that they all haven't left. You know, you guys are really doing a great job of keeping them in the room. Okay, so these guys are posting all day long, and one of the nice things that we always say about Craigslist is that the people are on the computer looking for information for one main reason: to avoid you. Did you see how many people in the room just went, oh, okay? Yeah, to avoid you. So they're doing it at those hours that they figure you're not actually going to then all of a sudden show up and email them back because they clicked on something. So that's why those evening hours work so well, or the really early morning hours that Lori and Albi are both kind of playing on there. And then Matt doesn't have the same competition, so he can keep his ads kind of a little higher ranked all day long. Okay, so let's talk about an ad itself. Now, without us showing them all on the screen, we're not going to show you anything pretty on the screen. This is the kind of stuff Albi's going to end up posting in the group, some examples of all this. What's a good ad versus a bad ad on Craigslist? What makes the difference between them? Because how many of you are posting real estate stuff on Craigslist right now? Okay, how many of you are getting like 20 deals at least out of that? Okay, so I've got a few hands for that. Okay, the rest of you are like, well, my ads aren't getting enough click-through. So Albi, we'll start with you and we'll work our way back to Matt again. Tell me what a good ad is versus a bad ad, so these guys all know when they walk out of here how to create the perfect Craigslist ad according to Albi.
At the very simple form, a call to action. If you're not putting your phone number in there, if you don't want phone calls, just get out of the business. Because you know, we see that all the time where people aren't taking their phone calls. That's the #1 spot you want. You sure they can go to your website, sure they can register, but if they're registering with their real name, they're registering with the right number, they're registering with their right address, you know, we go through a lot where it's all junk, but then there's really some good stuff inside. So what makes a good ad is actually, there's so many different dynamic parts we bring to it. So one of the cool things that we do is, you know, we'll do a community. You can do that inside of Market Leader itself. Lori talked about that earlier. You can do just a snippet of your homepage, and you can post that inside of Craigslist. So when they're clicking on it, they're thinking it's a website, but in actuality, it's driving directly into your website. So you get cross-branding, it's the same thing over and over again. So when people see multiple ads on there, and it's the same person, like, oh, this is the dominant force in that area. And then also, I put my picture on there. I don't think it's the greatest, but it's on there, and it's who I am. And when I go show a high-rise on the Las Vegas Strip, I had a couple of people like, hey, you're that guy from Craigslist. So I was like, yeah, I hope is that a good thing or a bad thing? So,
all right, so that's a good ad. Before you give the mic to Lori, I know you don't do any of these because there's no way you're doing them, Albi. What's a bad ad? Because I'm sure your competitors from maybe, let's say, another company in Las Vegas, remain nameless. What are they doing that's not working? What should these guys all avoid that maybe they're doing, and we don't want to hurt your feelings when we tell you what you're doing is considered a bad ad for what our purposes are. What's a bad ad look like to you?
Well, there's multiple different things you could do as a bad ad, because I do see a couple of really bad ads out there. I'm not sure if there's a limitation on characters inside of Craigslist, but somebody that writes 5,000 word Craigslist ad, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really going to read that if I'm just clicking through there. And then another one is make sure your links work. If you're posting through Craigslist, through eEdge, make sure if that house goes to a different, from active to something else, that link may die. I'm not sure if that's still the problem.
Yeah.
And then when they go to your website, it's going to be this nasty looking icon that's up there. So make sure your links are good. That's pretty much, and also if you don't put your phone number there and a call to action, or if you don't have a landing page, that's another bad thing too. If you're just taking them to a generic version of your site, or maybe it's not mobile ready as well. So we're just lucky we're with Keller Williams and we have that ability to do those things. So.
All right, so Lori, you post many ads and probably get great results because that's why we've got you up here. What makes a good ad according to Lori?
What makes a good ad according to Lori? Google juice. My Craigslist ads get a lot of Google rankings, so that's a priority for me. A good ad is going to be, in my opinion, simple, to the point, direct, telling the consumer, like we said, a call to action, something that's going to make them click through. It's going to be appealing enough, but not have too much information on it that it's detouring. I would say definitely the phone number, and that's a huge miss amongst realtors that are posting on Craigslist, is not adding the phone number, because what I have found is the average consumer that's on the internet is about 120 days out of buying. They're still serious buyers, but they're probably about 120 days out, but the one that's going to pick up the phone and call me, I'm going to get in the car with one of my buyer's agents probably that weekend. So having that phone number in there is really important. And then obviously what makes a bad ad, I can't say it enough how simple your ad needs to be. Very short, to the point, very direct. At least where I'm from, I believe the consumer is looking to disqualify your ad before they're looking to qualify your ad. Where we are, there's so many ads, there's so much they have to look at. We need to actually, if I'm posting it as a 4-bedroom, 1,200 square foot house, and they're looking for a 3-bedroom, 1,500 square foot house, they're going to go, oh, I don't want that, and I'm not going to get any click-through. So keeping them very simple and giving them just a taste that it's what they want actually drives them in.
Okay, so that's what we're hearing from Las Vegas, and we know what's happened to your market, so you guys are really definitely taking that over. Matt, what's a good ad? What's a bad ad, according to Matt?
Yep, I definitely agree. You don't want to give away too much information. If you do, there's no reason for them to call you, and it also gives them a reason to disqualify the home, right? And we're not necessarily counting on selling that home. All we want is a name and a phone number that we can follow up with. So the goal is not necessarily to sell that home, it's to attract ready, willing, able buyers. So I think the phone number is key as well. We changed wording on our ad that made a huge difference. We have above our phone number, it says immediate answers. And when we put that phrase on there, immediate answers, it made a huge difference. And that phone number is a Google Voice phone number that rings everybody on our team simultaneously, so somebody's going to answer it. So it rings our office phone, it rings cell phones, it rings home phones. Somebody is somewhere is going to answer that phone for immediate answers. And that is great to be able to get a phone call. And I think the key thing on the ad is if you're marketing a specific property and you want them to click through, they need to land on that property on your IDX. Not a different property, that property. That's the one they want to. So if you don't give them what they want, you're going to lose them. So if they looked at 214 Main Street, it should take them out and land them on 214 Main Street on your IDX, because that's what they asked for. If you send them to the landing page of your search of your IDX, I think you're going to lose them. At least that's been my experience, because you're not giving them what they asked for. They didn't ask for a landing page in our search field. They asked for information on that home.
Okay, so then other than a bad link, where we're sending them somewhere that is not what we told them we were sending them, what makes a bad ad in your opinion? What are your competitors doing that doesn't work? Because you're not doing it bad.
Well, yeah, I think it's those. I think it's not responding to what the consumer wanted. The consumer asked for X, and you gave them Y, so they're never going to go back because you've lost your ability to be a trustworthy source, right? If they ask for X, so when you look through and just go pick 3 or 4. The nice thing about it, you can get it right on your smartphone right now. Go pick 3 or 4. Look in Orlando, owns for sale, and look at it, and you'll see that they don't have a phone number that's prominent. They don't have a link that works correctly and takes them to the information they asked for. Or, like Albi said, way too much information. It's a 4-bedroom home with a this and a that and a this and that. Are you kidding me? Just give them the very basics. Let them get to your site, because the goal is to go to your IDX and get them to register, right, and get their information.
Okay, so don't check your phone now. Wait till the next session, which just won't be as exciting. You can check your phone then on those ads that I'm talking about. So now, Albi, you mentioned putting a photo, and we'll start with Matt. We'll come back this way. Albi mentioned he's got a photo of himself at the bottom of it. What are your thoughts on photos? Matt, we'll start with you. We'll come back. Photos on Craigslist ads. Do you put them in your ad? How many do you put? How many should you put? Do you always put? What's your plan and policy?
Gosh, I'm sure all 3 of us will have different answers on that. I think photos are important. That's what people are looking for. We know what the statistics are. So I think you have to show the most compelling picture of home, and I love personal photos. I struggled putting my photo on things when I first got into the business. Before I got into real estate, I was a cop. And so I would kind of like little standout. So having my picture on my business cards and everything else was just a lot for me, personally. So I had to get over that. Once I got over that, people like to connect. And it's so funny when you meet people, like Albi said, they're like, oh, I see your signs everywhere. It's like, no, you really didn't, but you think you do, right? You want to see you over and over and over again. It's setting up the idea that you are the expert. You're the one that's dominating the market. You're the go-to person. So anytime you can put people will remember your picture before your name, right? And they'll connect on that. So I'm a big believer in getting your photo everywhere you possibly can. But first, give them the information they asked for, and then you put in the signature. It's not about you, it's about the home, then it's about you.
So you were saying putting a compelling picture of the home. Are you putting one compelling picture of the home? Are you putting all 4? Because Craigslist allows us 4, or is one of those pictures you? How many pictures do you put in an ad regularly?
I have to be honest with you, I don't know that I have a set one that matters. I think sometimes we add 2 in, sometimes we add 3, sometimes we add just 1 exterior. I think, I can't answer.
But you're always making sure, you're always saying there's at least 1.
Yes.
You're never posting an ad that's not showing a photo. You're not. Nope. Okay. So never posting an ad that doesn't have a photo, and then it depends depending on the property.
Yes.
Lori, same question to you. How many pictures are you putting in it? Is one of them of you? How many of the property? How often?
Okay, well, strictly for the purpose of Craigslist, not for the other marketing that I showed earlier, but for Craigslist specifically, I like 1, and I like it to be the absolute best one. I'm really big about interior pictures, and I believe a kitchen sells a house, not the garage door of the house. So I will usually pick the best interior picture. I generally won't go with the pool, because if they don't want a pool, I've just lost them as soon as they see the picture of the pool. So I don't use a picture that's going to be a disqualifier, and I like 1 major compelling picture. The other pictures I do add, I add a picture of my team. We find that we get a lot of people that when they see a large group like that, they get very excited and they call us because of that. I also browse and add the broker logo and the fair housing requirements, because I actually believe that we're supposed to, even though I'm a rule breaker, I'm not going to break the broker rules or division rules, so I use the broker images that we're required to use as well. And then I also upload an image. It's actually, if you take a picture of your yard sign that you put in front of your house, it probably has your phone number, your picture, your broker logo. It has everything you need. So if you upload that one image, you're giving everything you need in that one image.
Okay, so taking a picture of your sign, if you've got a good sign, is what Lori's doing, because you're getting all that stuff, your face, your phone number, your brokerage, all the stuff that you need to have. And Lori, what room did Lori say was the one that sells a house?
Kitchen.
Okay, because every home has a kitchen, and usually the woman actually makes the choice.
I was gonna say not in Vegas.
Not in Vegas, they don't all.
Not in Vegas anymore because people stole the kitchen.
Right.
Yes, I was an agent there for a long time. I remember that as we were going through it, all of a sudden the kitchen was gone. Literally the kitchen sink. And Lori's right, especially in Las Vegas, every fourth house looks the exact same, so a picture of the garage door is not getting you anywhere. So unless you've got a really unique house from the front, it's an excellent idea. Make sure that picture is of the interior. Now Lori, if it's that gorgeous kitchen though, are you going to put 2 or 3 of the kitchen, or are you just still putting 1?
Definitely just one. Again, the only exception to that is if we're really trying to impress the seller by our marketing, we will definitely include some, like from our tour factory template that has all the bells and whistles in it, more just for the seller's benefit, but to catch the buyer, I truly believe it's one really impressive picture to get them, because then it's like giving them a little taste of something and they want more. Now they click through and they see the rest.
Okay, Albie, your turn. You've got homes that do and don't have kitchens. You've got garages that match every other house on the street. How many pictures are you putting in it? Is one of those pictures you? Are you always putting a property picture? How are you doing your photos?
At a minimum, you have to put 1 in there, because if you take a look at all the other ones that are on there, do you really want to click on a link? 90% of the, well, actually probably maybe 95% of the ads run in Vegas, it's just a simple link that's in there with some random garbage that's in there, and if there's no picture, they're like, not even click on it, because they probably click on the 4 other ones before they get to yours. One of the key things that we do, we embed pictures inside of our HTML. This is where that script comes in. So when they're pulling up our ads, they're seeing a picture that's already pre-scripted, and it just adds an extra one. If you wanted to show more than 4 pictures, you could add that in there. And also, we put the disclaimer for equal opportunity as one of our pictures, so you could just, keep that laying around in one of your folders. Make sure you have a folder system inside if you're using Windows or Mac. It's easier to go through stuff, so we have stuff that we upload in there. But yeah, the equal opportunity stuff, we just don't want to get dinged because there's people that don't like us because we're always on.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. There's people out there that don't like us. That's my aha.
Yeah.
All right, so.
It's not that they don't like us, they want to get us out of the way.
Yeah, right. It's absolutely. So that's going to lead me to our next question. You're saying, Albie, there are people out there who don't like you, and it's because you're doing what they wish they could do, and they don't have the success you're having because they're not doing it. So our competitors, instead of saying, I'm going to do it better, they say, I'm going to pull you down, right? We understand that. Do you have issues with people from other real estate companies going flag, 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 and like intentionally attempting to cause you issues on Craigslist?
Absolutely. So we figured.
I'm flagging you.
There was a rumor I thought that. No, honestly, if you're in there and you're looking to flag some of these other agents, there's 2 things you could do. It's like, hey, you need to get another job or another life, or you need to get better. Look at what they're doing and try to make it better. And if an agent's in there and he is going down there flagging, he's not lead generating, he's just flagging, so it doesn't really matter. Because, like I like to say, is like you have to have it pre-scripted. So if they flag it, you throw it right back up, and it's like, at the end of the day, who's the big winner? So, and I'm pretty sure they're not a Keller Williams agent, so we know who already is winning. So.
All right, so Lori, let's ask you the same thing. Other than Albie flagging you and you flagging Albie to play with each other and mess each other's systems up, are you having issues with agents from other companies flagging you? How do you deal with them? What do you do? Do you just keep moving on? What's your plan?
My plan is to out-volume them. Because yes, I absolutely get flagged, absolutely. I'm probably the one they want to get out of the way the most, it seems like. And they will flag me. Not only do they flag me, they file claims with the division trying to shut me down. I just legally had to change my last name, long story, to beat that. That's why I'm very careful to stay compliant, so that if anybody has any issues, they're not going to get me out of their way. So we just out-volume them. As soon as they start flagging me, it actually amps us up, ticks us off, and makes us post 100 more.
Yeah, don't do that to a high D.
Yeah.
For those of you who know, don't do that to a high D. You just caused yourself a whole bunch of grief. So what we just learned from Lori was 2 important things. 1, change your last name if you need to. That's what I got out of that. And 2, You are the Costco of Craigslist because you're just going to go volume over giving them the specific ads. Okay. Matt, how about you? Do you have people over on the East Coast, because we hear about all those New Yorkers, you know, no offense, I'm from New York, okay? About the, you know, that attitude and that type, the real high Ds that are in that corner of the country. Do you run into people who are intentionally after you and flagging you and all that stuff, and how do you deal with it?
We don't see it as often. We're not posting the volume, so I don't feel, you know, people may not be looking at us as targets because we're hitting just kind of that specific part during the day. It happens, I would say, maybe twice a week. It's kind of, so kind of get a little crazy. They're flagging us, and you know, it's the same thing. You just don't worry about it. It's the same thing with any lead generation activity that you do where your competition doesn't like it. You move on, and you do something else, you add more, you just don't let them beat you. So just don't let it be a part of your mindset. Move past it and go on to the next thing.
Okay, so don't even hesitate about it. Okay, how many of you, I'm going to ask a question, see what we get here. How many of you have been ghosted on Craigslist? Show me your hand. Hands down. How many of you have no idea what I just asked? Okay, so Albi, since you mentioned it, we're going to let you have to be the one who has to attack this answer. Other than Pac-Man, and we know the little ghost that chases them around, what does that mean, ghosting on Craigslist?
Actually, I was one of the guys that raised his hand.
Oh, so we'll go on the line.
So ghosting means it could stem from multiple different things. If Craigslist is just like Google, they're always changing their algorithm on how they're seeing if it's spam. Because at the end of the day, they want to make sure it's a clean website. You know, there's real stuff going up there. So I think with the loss of the CAPTCHA, I'm not sure if we see a lot more people posting in there spamming. So what the ghosting means. Craigslist could determine if you're spamming anybody and you're just throwing random stuff out there that has nothing to do with real estate or stuff. So they will actually, your ads will actually not appear up on there. So so that's what's considered ghosting. I heard somebody wrote something, I think Lord was the one that told me about it, as this is probably one of the a little bit higher techie stuff, but you can put a hashtag in there. So let's say the hashtag is something like AWF CL in there, and then you could do a search for that, because I'm pretty sure nobody else is actually putting that in there as well. So if you see that a really creative ad you threw up there on the new house you got new on the golf course, and you're not getting leads from that, you could actually search on that hashtag and determine if it's ghosted. If you don't see the ad in there, I'm like, you know, you may have to open a new account or clear your cookies out, or just, you know, maybe post from your phone or something else. So those are the things they're looking for. They're looking for multiple accounts on the same computer, the same browser. So if you use multiple browsers, I use 2 different ones, and then I use my phone as well, so that's like a 3rd one.
Okay, so what we need is a dictionary of Albi. You guys all getting that too? CAPTCHA, cookies, he's throwing all these terms at us that we have no idea what you're talking about. Lori, what we hear about ghosting is when you're ghosted, you're not going to show up. Long and short of it, when you're ghosted, they see through you. And the problem with Craigslist is it's their ball, they're going home. They're very much Google in that sense, and they're going to say, you're going to play by our rules. So once you're ghosted, is there a way around it? How do I get unghosted? What do I do, Lori?
Well, it's not, in my experience, it's not the account itself, it's the ad that gets ghosted. So once, what it really means is once you hit to post the ad, Craigslist gives you a little HTML link and says, congratulations, your ad has been published. Not. That's what's really happening, right? What happens is it says it's been published, and then it's just completely invisible. It's just invisible to the public, never sees it. So you don't always know that your ad has been ghosted. So it's not, you can keep posting on that account, you just can't keep posting on that ad. Is there a way around it in my experience? No. You can probably talk to 100 people and you're the post on Craigslist and they'll all say, don't post too many links, add more text. I don't worry about any of it. I just post in volume so that there's enough ads that stay out there. So the ones that get ghosted. Now somebody like Matthew, I'm sure in his market has to be more aware of that. If you're only posting a limited number of ads and they're getting ghosted, you're going to lose a lot of leads. When we post in such volume that if 100 of mine get ghosted, 300 make it, I'm good.
Okay. So Matt, I should throw that at you. Give us a little bit on ghosting from the East Coast.
Yeah, the only time we ever really had a problem was when we were using our virtual assistant overseas to post. So when she was logging in overseas and it was coming up through that browser, that's when we were getting ghosted because it seemed like it was possibly spam. So obviously there's ways around that. You have them log in and work around that so they're actually coming through a local browser to make that. Again, we don't have, because I'm not posting that volume, I'm sure it happens, but we kind of, because Craigslist is just a smaller part of our strategy, we see it, but it really had more to do when we had overseas virtual assistant doing it.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the tools, because you talked virtual assistant, you threw that out there. I know Albi's got one that he always talks about that I'm going to start with you guys, and we'll see if it even makes it to you, Al, before you get to get it. What are some of those tools that you can use to really make Craigslist work? This is where you really want to start writing this down. Okay, so we're going to give you guys some of those tools that are out there. What are some of the tools you use to make Craigslist dance for you?
Yeah, for me, again, I think, and I love that when Albi said he makes them on the weekend, then they're ready to go for the week. You really just need a couple of good templates that are easy and make it. If you start from scratch every time, it's going to be a miserable experience, right? You always have to get. So if you create a couple of templates that are easy, that prove that get good traffic, and then just start exchanging them in and out. So maybe you create for one property, you might recreate it 3 or 4 times in different templates, so you can repost different templates for that property. But for us, always, anytime you can use a virtual assistant at a very reasonable price, then you can have somebody consistently working on it and keeping it going. I think the consistency is the key. So whatever you need to do that, I think is the win. But a virtual assistant, especially on this word, if you want to get to volume, I think is key.
Okay, so virtual assistant, and if you're going to use that, the one that Matt threw at you before, write this one down, is log me in. That's one word. Because if you're having one of your virtual assistants post, you're going to want them posting from what appears to be your computer. So log me in is going to allow them to log into your computer from wherever they are and look like they're posting from your location. Okay. Lori, other than your tool that you've got right here that posts all, and I mean that as a, you know, like a hammer or a screwdriver, not the way that some other people use the term. Other than the tool of your husband to get those postings done for you, what other tools do you use to make Craigslist dance for you?
I do a lot of shortcut saving tools. I do use template creators. I obviously use the Craigslist posting tool that's in Market Leader, the Pro and the Realty Generator. I use listingtoleads.com, which is a very fast, easy way to create templates and posts. But I have a storage file, if you will, on classifiedflyerads.com, which is a free site. And we created 1,000 ads on a weekend before, and we have several thousand at any time that are stored inside this library on classifiedflyerads.com, and I can just go in there at any time and copy and paste and create new ads. I also have a spreadsheet that runs on forever and ever and ever with titles, keywords, simple copy and paste links that are quick and easy to use.
Okay, so now Albi, the tool that I know you're going to tell everybody about made it to you, and that's either because the other two knew the tool as well and they said, we'll let Albi talk about it, or you're all sitting there totally confused as to what I'm setting Albi up for. But Albi, there's a tool you use for Craigslist that lets us know if it's working.
Okay.
So what tool do you use that really makes Craigslist dance that these people are going to want to look into?
And this is where we talk about adaptability, where it is Craigslist sandbox, and they can do whatever they want, so we have to adapt to them. Back in the old days, Chad and I used to use the Google shortening tool, Goog. So then they banded it, so all of our links were in there. So now we're like, how do we know which links are being clicked on? How many times were they clicked on? So, you know, we struggled a little bit, and then I want to say it was John from Chicago. Was it John Pauly that said the Craigslist ad tracker? This is probably the
Write that down. I don't want to see anybody looking up. Write that one down.
Craigslist ad tracker.
That's your aha for all the family reunion done. Okay, but now let's hear a little bit about it.
Let me tell you how dynamic that is. So sometimes we'll write a really pretty ad. I'm like, oh, it's the best looking thing I've ever seen or ever written. You know, I'm proud. I'm slapping myself around or something. I don't know what that means, but I just said it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So it'll tell you how many times your ad got views. So if you can tell that you write a really pretty ad, you can actually determine right away if it's been ghosted or not. Or it was a really bad headline. And then outside of that, so you could write a really pretty ad and everybody looks at it, it's a great heading, they look at it, but they don't click on it. So then you're like, well, maybe I need to change something else inside the ad. So there's 2 different parts in there. So what we did was a real great experience. We did the community page for Summerlin. Summerlin is a suburb of Las Vegas, is where our office is. I just ran a plain ad with 0 pictures inside there, as in the embedded pictures. And we saw that we had a click-through rate of 9%. And I was like, 9%? I'm like, we'd be doing a lot better if we were doing something else. So it's the same exact landing page. What we did is we actually changed that out. We actually put that little snippet where it's an embedded picture of our website of Summerlin community, and that is shot up to 22%. And that's, you know, sounds like a lot, but it really is, especially when you're talking about, I had it written down earlier, since November we had something like 142,000 clicks to our website just from Craigslist alone. And, you know, volume.
You can say wow, that's okay. Yeah, wow.
So, you know, we're looking at how many people looked at our ads, and, you know, that small percentage does matter. So, you know, that's what helps us out.
Okay, so we're going to bring this to an end shortly. Do I have time to give them for a few questions, Ryan? Because I know there's another group waiting, dying to get in here. But I'm going to take, if a few of you want to work your way to that mic, okay, I will see if we can squeeze them in. I'm going to have these guys think about the best headline you've ever used or seen that you can share, okay, because I know the term. One of the tools that was not mentioned while they're thinking about that, I know it's going to make one of our tech coaches over there cringe when I mentioned Postlets, is one of the tools that's out there. Now here's why I'm mentioning it. Avoid it. Okay? Good, pretty looking ads on Craigslist get you how many leads usually? 0. Postlets is a really pretty looking ad. You do the math on how that works. Okay, so I'm going to take a question while you guys are also thinking about some headlines. I got one right here at the microphone. We're going to have you go first. Ma'am?
Okay, do you find it's better to repost or delete and add a new quote-unquote ad?
Okay, so let's go with Lori because you're doing the bulk, and then we'll go on to the next question. We'll keep this moving.
In my world, delete is a bad word because there's Google juice, and they land on Google. If you delete the ad, you've just lost your Google juice.
Okay, so never deleting an ad is what Lori has to say. Ma'am, next question.
I want to know, when do you spring your mousetrap?
Aha! When do they actually go to try to capture their information? Albi. They've clicked, they've come through to your website. Are you immediately then saying, give me info?
No, okay. So I tend to push some people to another product called WolfNet. That's my IDX of choice for now. But you know, we tried different settings on how many times they could view different properties, but we saw the magical number is 3. They could view 3 properties, and then we need information.
It's 2 on Market Leader.
Okay, yeah, Market Leader, it's usually 2, very good. And WolfNet 3, okay. Next question.
So, let me ask you, you said repost, but a lot of times after 2 days they have a renew. Is it the same thing, or is that something different?
Albi, Lori, you guys are my bulk posters, so I'm going to let you guys take the bulk post question.
I actually renew. It's the renew button. Did I say repost earlier?
Yeah, you said renew.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's the renew button. Oh yeah, okay. So the repost is that's actually after that ad has died, you can repost it. But if you're running multiple ads of the same exact item, it'll actually say, hey, it looks just like the one previous. So you could just add some more text and say, hey, call me this or something else in there. Once you have enough characters in there, it'll let you repost it.
Okay, so.
But like, would you recommend clicking the renew button? You would? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All day.
It's easy money. It's like, we're doing 12 ads in 18 seconds. You can't beat that.
Can't beat 12 ads in 18 seconds. Okay, now before we wrap this up, I want you to know Matt, Lori, and Albi are obviously here all day today, all day tomorrow. None of them are running off before the convention's over, so you can find them. What's the best way to find you guys other than KWFRCL is the group on Facebook that you're going to want to go join. Chick-fil-A is a good place to find Albi, as we learned. Yeah, absolutely. Albi already shared his number with you. Lori, if they want to find you after, you got cards up front they can come grab.
Yeah, Facebook. Look me up, Lori Ballen. Facebook's probably the best way to connect with me. I have cards up here, and we're hanging at the Hilton Bar.
Okay, and Matt?
A lot.
Yeah, nobody knows about that location, right? All right, Matt, what's the best way for them to find you?
On Twitter, Matt Fettick, MattFettick.
Okay, so find Matt on Twitter. Now, I asked, and this is how I want to give you guys this. First, before we leave, and I let them finish this, I want to say thank you to Market Leader for, of course, providing us with this tech room. Yes. And not only with the tech room for all this information, with the Edge, which you guys are hopefully all kicking it with. I asked you guys to tell me the best headline. Because one of the things we always teach guys, you're going to want to scribble this down. So before you end up getting up and running off to the next session, you're going to want this information. Headlines catch your eye on Craigslist. If you've just got an ad that says 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, $400,000 home, you're boring and you're falling into the clutter of the background noise. What's the best headline you've used that you're able to share? Do you all have one? Okay, Matt's kind of thinking still, so let's start over here with Albi and Lori, and we'll go down to Matt.
I have a few, the main ones are the contradictory ones. I have one that says, I'm sorry, it's probably already gone. I get a ton of that. I have another one that says, hey investors, don't look over here, you probably won't like it. It's just a trick.
Okay, so Lori's doing the takeaway on her headlines. Think about that when you're creating yours. Albie?
The greatest one of all time. We had a listing with a pool. We said, this pool is guaranteed not to contain sea monkeys. We had a 40% click-through rate just to view what this property was.
You all laughed.
Yeah.
That's what's going to work on Craigslist. Albie just gave it to you. Make sure you're laughing. Matt, do you have one that jumps out?
The headline was free home, and then the page said free home with purchase of $250,000 lot.
So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt, Lori, Albie, thank you very much for joining us. Ryan, are we throwing them out? We're letting them stay even if they want for the next session.